Dylan Gabriel has been ahead of Shedeur Sanders for a majority of this football season, getting a chance to get first team reps. And Kevin Stefanski has definitely played his favoritism when it comes to the two quarterbacks. Dylan Gabriel shown us nothing once again.
Kevin Stefanski just made the biggest mistake of his coaching career, and the entire NFL world is watching it unfold in real time. The Cleveland Browns got absolutely embarrassed by the New England Patriots, 32-13. And guess who was leading the charge into disaster? Dylan Gabriel, the so-called supercomputer that Stefanski has been protecting all season just through 2 interceptions, completed barely 60% of his passes, and showed the world exactly why Shedeur Sanders should have been starting from day one. But here's where it gets interesting. While Gabriel was out there playing checkdown Charlie, Shedeur was on the sideline watching his draft stock rise with every incompletion. The question everyone's asking now isn't if Stefanski will make the switch, but how long can he keep pretending Gabriel is the answer before the entire Browns organization turns on him.
Absolutely horrible. Now, we already know Kevin Stefanski is going to have a lot of excuses with Dylan Gabriel's lack of performance, throwing checkdowns, and the New England Patriots secondary was literally on their heels. They already knew the short passes was coming, and this is the results that you will get as long as you continue to play Dylan Gabriel.
The Browns organization is in crisis mode right now, whether they want to admit it or not. You don't lose to the Patriots by 19 points with your starting quarterback throwing for less than 160 yards and pretend everything's fine. The locker room knows it. The fans know it. And deep down, Kevin Stefanski knows it too. He's just too stubborn to admit he made a mistake with Gabriel. But let's be real about something else here. This situation is actually a blessing in disguise for Shedeur. While Dylan Gabriel is out there getting exposed, while Stefanski is running out of excuses, Shedeur is building leverage. Every checkdown Gabriel throws, every interception, every 3 and out, it all adds to the mountain of evidence that screams, make the switch. And when that switch finally happens, Shedeur won't just be stepping in as a backup. He'll be stepping in as the savior. The fan base will embrace him. The media will be on his side. Even if he struggles early, he'll get the benefit of the doubt because everyone just watched Dylan Gabriel prove he's not the answer. Think about the weapons Shedeur will have at his disposal too. Jerry Jeudy is a legitimate NFL receiver who can create separation. Amari Cooper still has juice in his legs. The running game with Ford and Hunt gives you balance. The defense, when healthy, can keep you in games. This isn't a talent-deficient roster. This is a roster that's being held back by quarterback play and questionable coaching decisions. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but what if Shedeur struggles too? What if he's not ready? And to that I say, we'll never know until we try. But based on everything we've seen from Shedeur throughout his career, based on his pedigree, his confidence, his ability to perform in pressure situations, I'd bet on him over Dylan Gabriel 10 times out of 10. The real question is how much longer Kevin Stefanski can keep this charade going. How many more losses will it take? How much more embarrassment can the Browns organization endure before they force his hand? Because right now, every game that Gabriel starts is a game that Shedeur could be using to develop, to build chemistry, to establish himself as the franchise quarterback of the future. And let's not forget the bigger picture here. The Browns are in a division with the Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers. Those are legitimate playoff teams with franchise quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Russell Wilson. These guys aren't playing checkdown football. They're attacking defenses, making big plays, putting their teams in position to win. If the Browns want to compete in this division, they need a quarterback who can match that aggression, that playmaking ability. Dylan Gabriel isn't that guy. Shedeur Sanders could be. The film doesn't lie, and the film from this Patriots game should be all the evidence Stefanski needs. Gabriel had opportunities to make throws down the field. The Patriots were playing soft coverage, basically begging him to test them. And he couldn't do it. Whether it's a lack of arm talent, a lack of confidence, or a lack of trust in his receivers, the result is the same. The Browns' offense is stuck in neutral while Gabriel is behind the wheel. You want to know the most telling stat from this game? The Browns managed only 13 points against a Patriots defense that came into this game ranked in the bottom third of the league. 13 points. That's not just a quarterback problem. That's a we have no idea what we're doing on offense problem. And a huge part of that falls on Gabriel's inability to push the ball down the field and make defenses respect the deep passing game. Stefanski can make all the excuses he wants. He can talk about execution, about needing to be better in all three phases, about how they'll get it corrected. But the truth is simple. Dylan Gabriel isn't good enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. And every game he plays is a wasted opportunity for Shedeur Sanders to show what he can do. The clock is ticking on this experiment. The Browns fan base is already calling for change. The media is starting to ask the hard questions. Even some players are probably wondering why they're continuing to run this offense with a quarterback who can't make all the throws. At some point, Stefanski is going to have to swallow his pride, admit he was wrong about Gabriel, and give Shedeur the keys to this offense. And when that happens, not if, but when, the entire narrative around this Browns team is going to shift. Suddenly, there will be hope. Suddenly, there will be excitement. Suddenly, fans will have a reason to believe that this team can actually compete. Because love him or hate him, Shedeur Sanders brings something to the table that Dylan Gabriel simply doesn't have: the confidence and ability to be a true franchise quarterback. This Patriots loss isn't just another tally in the loss column. It's a turning point. It's the moment where the excuses run out, where the favoritism becomes impossible to defend, where the obvious answer becomes impossible to ignore. Dylan Gabriel had his chance, and he blew it. Not just in this game, but throughout this entire season. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders has been waiting, preparing, ready to prove that he's the future of this franchise. So here's my message to Kevin Stefanski. How long are you going to keep doing this? How many more games are you going to waste trying to prove that Dylan Gabriel is something he's not? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You've seen what Gabriel brings to the table. It's not enough. It's never been enough. And it's never going to be enough. Make the switch. Give Shedeur his shot. Let him show the world what we already know, that he's got the talent, the confidence, and the mentality to be a franchise quarterback in this league. Stop holding this team back with your ego and your stubbornness. The fans deserve better. The organization deserves better. And most importantly, Shedeur Sanders deserves his opportunity, because at the end of the day, we all know how this story ends. Dylan Gabriel gets benched. Shedeur takes over. And suddenly, the Browns' offense looks completely different. The only question is how much damage gets done before Stefanski finally makes the move that everyone with eyes can see needs to happen. Conclusion. So that's the reality of where we're at with the Cleveland Browns right now. Dylan Gabriel just showed us for the 100th time why he's not the answer. Kevin Stefanski continues to live in denial. And Shedeur Sanders is sitting on the bench watching his opportunity grow with every incompletion. This isn't complicated. This isn't some chess match that requires genius-level analysis. It's simple. One quarterback can't get the job done, and the other deserves a shot to prove he can. The Patriots game was the final nail in the coffin for the Dylan Gabriel experience. Now it's time to see what Shedeur can do. The stage is set. The fan base is ready. The only person standing in the way is a head coach who's too proud to admit he made a mistake. What do you think? Is it time for Kevin Stefanski to make the switch to Shedeur Sanders? Or should he keep riding with Dylan Gabriel? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you think about this disaster. And if you're tired of the mainstream media sugarcoating these performances, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I'm going to keep bringing you the truth that nobody else wants to talk about. Until next time, stay locked in, and let's see how long it takes for Stefanski to finally do the right thing. Peace.
It is a blessing in disguise for Shedeur Sanders to not even play as far as for the Cleveland Browns right now, considering how bad of a play caller Kevin Stefanski is, along with exposing Dylan Gabriel. It's showing the world that he's not nowhere near better than Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders ain't listen, if Shedeur Sanders...
Look, I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I'm here to tell you the truth that the mainstream media won't touch because they're too busy protecting their narratives. Dylan Gabriel was supposed to be the guy, the analytics darling, the safe pick that would come in and manage the game while the defense did the heavy lifting. But what we witnessed against New England wasn't just a bad game. It was a complete exposure of everything wrong with Kevin Stefanski's quarterback evaluation process. That let's break down what actually happened in this disaster of a football game. And more importantly, Why this proves that Shedeur Sanders should be under center right now. From the opening drive, you could see it. Dylan Gabriel came out looking nervous, uncertain, like a quarterback who knew he was playing on borrowed time. The Patriots defense, and let's be real here, this isn't exactly the 2007 Patriots we're talking about. They were sitting back in soft coverage, daring Gabriel to beat them deep. And what did he do? Check down, check down, check down. It was like watching a quarterback audition for the role of game manager in the worst possible way. 21 completions out of 35 attempts. On paper, that's a 60% completion rate, which sounds okay until you realize that most of those completions were throws that traveled less than 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt were basically playing wide receiver out there, catching screens and flats while the Patriots secondary was laughing at them. No exaggeration. You could see the defensive backs literally playing up because they knew Gabriel wasn't going to challenge them vertically. And here's the thing that really gets me heated about this whole situation. Stefanski has been feeding us this narrative all season long that Dylan Gabriel gives them the best chance to win. The best chance to win what exactly? A participation trophy? Because what I saw on that field wasn't a quarterback trying to win a football game. What I saw was a quarterback trying not to lose his job, and ironically, that's exactly what's about to happen. The 2 interceptions tell the real story. The first one came in the second quarter when Gabriel finally tried to push the ball downfield to Jerry Jeudy. But the throw was late, underthrown, and telegraphed so badly that the Patriots corner had time to order a coffee before making the pick. This is what happens when you have a quarterback who's been throwing 5-yard outs all game and suddenly tries to go deep. There's no rhythm, no confidence, no timing with the receivers. The second interception was even worse. 3rd and long, Browns desperately needing to sustain a drive, and Gabriel locks onto his first read like a high school quarterback. The safety didn't even have to break stride. He was sitting on that route the entire time because Gabriel's eyes gave it away from the snap. These are rookie mistakes from a guy who's supposed to have all this experience, all this supercomputer processing ability. Where was the computer on those throws? Did it crash? Did someone forget to update the software? Now, I can already hear the apologists coming out of the woodwork. Oh, the offensive line didn't give him time. The receivers weren't getting separation. The play calling was conservative. And you know what? Some of that might be true. But here's what nobody wants to admit. Those same excuses would disappear overnight if Shedeur Sanders was taking those snaps. Think about it. Shedeur has been sitting on that bench watching Gabriel get first-team reps all season. He's been studying, preparing, waiting for his opportunity. And while Gabriel's been out there proving he's not the guy, Shedeur's been building a case for why he should be. The difference between these two quarterbacks isn't just talent, it's mentality. Gabriel plays like a quarterback who's afraid to make mistakes. Shedeur plays like a quarterback who understands that you can't win scared in this league. Let me paint you a picture of what this game would have looked like with Shedeur under center. Those same checkdowns that Gabriel was throwing, Shedeur processes that information faster, sees the safety creeping down, and takes the shot deep. Maybe he completes it, maybe he doesn't, but at least he's keeping the defense honest. That's the difference between a quarterback who manages a game and a quarterback who controls it. And here's where the Stefanski favoritism becomes impossible to ignore. Throughout this entire season, he's given Dylan Gabriel every possible advantage. First-team reps in practice, longer leash in games, the benefit of the doubt when things go wrong. But what has Gabriel done to earn that trust? Where are the wins? Where are the explosive plays? Where's the evidence that justifies continuing to ride with a quarterback who just put up 156 yards passing against one of the worst defenses in the league? The stats don't lie, man. 156 yards. In an NFL game. In 2025, the Patriots literally gave Gabriel the underneath routes all game long, and he still could barely crack 200 yards. Do you know how bad you have to be to struggle against a defense that's giving you completions? It's like someone handing you the answers to a test and you still failing. And the most frustrating part? You could see it on the sideline. The body language of the receivers, the offensive line, even the coaching staff, everyone knew this wasn't working. But Stefanski kept trotting Gabriel out there, play after play, series after series, like he was trying to prove a point. And the point he proved was that his ego is bigger than his desire to win football games. Now let's talk about what this means for Shedeur Sanders, because this is where the story gets really interesting. While Gabriel was out there embarrassing himself and the Browns organization, Shedeur was getting the most valuable education a young quarterback can receive. He was learning what not to do. He was watching in real time how playing scared, how being too conservative, how lacking confidence will get you exposed at the NFL level. But here's the twist that nobody's talking about. This disaster of a performance by Dylan Gabriel might actually be the best thing that could happen to Shedeur's career. Think about it. If Shedeur had been thrown into this dysfunctional offense from day one, with a head coach who clearly can't call plays and an offensive line that's inconsistent at best, he might have struggled too. His confidence might have taken hits. The narrative around him might have turned negative. Instead, he got to sit back, study the playbook, build chemistry with the second-team offense. And most importantly, he got to watch Dylan Gabriel prove to everyone why the Browns need to make a change. When Shedeur finally does get his shot, and make no mistake, it's coming sooner rather than later, he'll step on that field with the entire fan base behind him, desperate for something different, ready to rally around a quarterback who actually has the confidence to take chances.